Good morning, everyone, from the live stream and here in person. Thank you so much for coming here in person. My name is Eve Zeiler, and I'm presenting you the Raw Vegan Lifestyle, SOS-free. I usually work at the True North Health Foundation as a researcher, but since 5 years I'm a raw vegan, and I really like it. I like eating fresh raw foods and vegetables. And yeah, I'm just going to show you how you can eat it. I mean, it's so simple actually, but people, we get conditioned to make everything complicated. So, but actually we are already done. I mean, I brought you the food here and we could just eat it, you know? It's all done. Everything doesn't need to be prepared. So we have all kinds of greens today here, and herbs, and we have some vegetables, the carrot is kind of considered a root vegetable, and the zucchini is actually considered a fruit, and the cucumber too. So, but we'll like to call it vegetable if it's not sweet. Some celery, and then red bell peppers, some broccoli, lemons, ginger, some more tomatoes. Yeah, that's all whole foods, like how you would pick them from the tree or from the ground. Then I have some chia seeds. You could also find this in the wild, but I ordered them. I mean, if we have time, we can probably gather it in the wild. But then I have also some pecans, and I soak them in water. You don't necessarily have to do it, but sometimes it helps with digestion if you soak your nuts and seeds in water for overnight. It's pretty much very simple. So this was half a cup of pecan seeds, and I just pour water, cover them with water in a mason jar, and then leave them overnight on your counter. I like to have these sprouting bits, but you don't necessarily need it. If you just soak nuts and seeds and you don't really sprout, then you can also just use a strainer and then just strain it like this. It's probably a little bit of water still in there. And then you rinse it, wash it, and then drain it again. If you want to sprout something, these sprouting lids are really great. They're like a regular mason jar lid with a band, but instead of a lid, they have a strainer. So you just put it on your mason jar. And for example, I soaked those overnight. If those were kind of sprouts or lentils, something like that, I could keep them drained and then leave them upside down, tilted like this, on a plate like that, or somewhere. Or if you want to have something fancier, you could have that too. Hi, come in.
Thank you.
But then I would leave it maybe for 1 or 2 days in addition, so they have time to sprout. It's pretty simple. It's really simple. But
Even pecans will sprout like that?
no, pecans probably not. Some nuts and seeds, they need the hole around them to sprout. But almonds, maybe if they're really, really raw, they might sprout a little bit. But most nuts and seeds, they need the hole. Like sunflower seeds, they will sprout a little bit, but they don't develop these really nice leaves. They need the hole, the shell around them. But for sunflower greens, you could use that too probably. Or maybe they spread them around. That's probably more like microgreens where they spread them around. But those are pecan.
Oh, pecans, okay.
Pecans. But those are only soaked overnight.
Do you have a couple minutes? I'm out of the
If you have lentils, for example, you could use this method, but rinse them twice per day. So always rinse them. If you leave them for 1 or 2 days, always rinse them at least twice a day. You just pour water on top, and then you drain it, and then you leave it again, like in the morning and at night. But those are just nuts. I do only overnight soaking a little bit. You don't necessarily have to, but if you feel like your digestion is a little bit off, that could definitely help. And then I have some chili here. I use it. I don't like to use a lot of garlic. I feel like garlic is a little bit too strong, especially if you come off of fast. But chili never really upset my stomach, so a little bit of chili. And ginger is also really good for your digestion. And that gives the spice a little bit flavor. And then we have also herbs, like I have a little bit of green onions here, like scallions. But I didn't even say what we're gonna do today. I always don't know what I'm gonna do till the last minute when I see what's in the kitchen. But I think we could make an Asian-inspired pad thai noodle salad, something like that. So noodles, we're gonna make noodles out of this. And the tools I have, a blender is always really great. A high-speed blender, like a Vitamix or a Blendtec, so they can really blend anything really smooth. And I have a grater, and I have a spiralizer here, so that's how I make the noodles. I'm gonna show you that. But maybe we'll start with the sauce first. I don't really know how the sauce will look like yet too much. But I have lots of vegetables. So the sauce I always do with lots of vegetables, and the number one vegetable I always use is celery, really, because celery gives lots of flavor. And because we don't use any salt, and that's the reason why I also don't use any what was I gonna say? Oh, I forgot.
You ever use pepper?
Oh, water. What?
You ever use pepper?
Pepper?
You
Oh,
ever
like
use- just to add flavor to things.
like a red bell pepper or
No, I'm talking
chili?
about pepper.
Like salt
sprinkled,
pepper?
Salt.
Oh,
Black pepper, do you
oh,
use?
like black pepper.
Thank you.
Black pepper. Yes, yeah, I use black pepper. Sometimes it's a little bit irritating.
Yeah.
Sometimes you eat it and
Just
then
a little.
I have pepper in my throat or something. But I would use it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can use any spices and herbs that you like. Spices are fine. I mean, whatever you really like, unless they're whole, they're natural, they're not processed, or they're no added other things. You always check the label that's only whole spices. And then yeah, of course, anything that you really like. Sometimes, especially Indians, they would fry the spices in oil, so be careful with that. So I put celery, whatever, like 4 stalks even. I just put it in here, and then I always like to use maybe a red bell pepper. Yeah, I was gonna say, so celery is really great if you don't use any salt. And avoiding water in your dressings and sauces. So I don't put any water. The water only comes from the vegetables. So if I want to have it more liquid, then I choose a vegetable or a fruit that's more a high water content, like a tomato or a cucumber. So you don't need to add water, which
Okay.
is pretty much tasteless, you know, and all the vegetables have lots of taste.
Kind of waters down the taste, then I guess, huh?
Yeah,
Literally.
exactly.
Literally.
That's what water does.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to keep it fresh. So if I use spices and herbs, if it's dried, then I try to use also the whole black pepper and then grind it myself. Or the ginger, I like to use fresh ginger instead of the dried ginger. It tastes different. The dried ginger also has less antibacterial properties. It still is really good for your digestion if you use dried ginger. It has some benefits, but if you dry it, all the volatile compounds in the ginger actually get lost. So it has different flavor.
You're peeling it there?
Yeah, I'm kind of peeling it.
Yeah.
So
You
I-
don't want to eat the peeling though, huh?
If I don't know about this ginger actually too much. I didn't ask the kitchen. It might be organic. It probably is organic, but
Yeah.
if I buy it organic and I know that's not treated, I would use the peel. If I blend it all in there, you're not gonna see the peel after. It's not
Right,
toxic, but sometimes I feel like maybe they treat it with wax or
Oh, I
something.
see.
Like the cucumbers, well, this is kind of okay, I guess. But I feel like the cucumber sometimes will be waxy.
Yeah.
So there are different methods to peel
Yeah.
a ginger. I'll do it like this, but maybe I also saw like you could use a spoon and then No meat, no, we're gonna keep it vegan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but especially the little corners here, that's pretty cool. Hey, what's that about this?
But I usually use a smaller knife.
Well, the smaller knife cuts too.
Yeah.
I usually always cut myself with smaller knives.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
it
me.
works pretty well, yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Very
how
good.
about that?
So you don't put it in there now? No?
I already put a piece in it. Maybe we can put a little more under it. Yeah. Just a little bit more. Huh? Now you always have to taste your food and adjust it. I never go after exact recipe because everything tastes different. Like every ginger is different. Some ginger is really, really spicy.
Uh-huh.
Some is not that spicy. This ginger actually looks pretty potent. Maybe a little bit more. It's really brave. And then I also have chili. Do you like spicy food?
I don't like it real spicy, but I can eat it a little bit spicy.
A little bit spicy. Yeah, the chili. So you can buy fresh chili. This actually I bought fresh. Well, actually I found I picked it from the field even. This one, it was fresh, but I just dried it because you can only eat so much chili. So, but you can dry it in the sun, or if you have a dehydrator, then you can dry it there. And the really chili part, the really hot part from the chili is the seeds. So I avoid the seeds actually, because they're really, really hot. Unless you want it really hot, but then I would rather use more chili than the seeds. The seeds don't have any flavor in it, so maybe you just do half of it. And what else are we gonna put in? Maybe tomatoes. Use these tomatoes. More liquid. Yeah, I always do a different kind of sauce, but the base is always the same. Like you just put vegetables in your blender and blend it up, and you make a sauce.
Oh, okay.
2 tomatoes, and what else do you use? Yeah, I would use definitely some herbs and spices, but I'm gonna put them in later. Because if I blend it all together, it would be more brownish. You could do that too. I mean, the flavor will be a little bit different. It's up to you. If you want to have like chopped herbs in here, or if you want to have it all blended. But you have to consider the color. So red, the celery is green, but it's light green, so it's not gonna change the color of the red much. This is like really green, so change the color. So in green and red gives brown, kind of. Sometimes you want to have a brown sauce, but not always. It's up to you. So what kind of herbs do I have? I have parsley here. This is the parsley, I think. And I have some mint as well, which is kind of brave as well. To put some mint in your food. But for an Asian kind of inspired flavor, maybe it's not bad. And I do have also a few green onions, but I'll keep it light with onions. And what else? Where's the cilantro? And of course cilantro, right? Parsley kind of looks like the cilantro. I think this is cilantro. A little bit of cilantro. And yeah, you can adjust it to your own taste. The herbs, how much you take, it's really healthy. So I would recommend eating lots of herbs, like especially parsley has lots of iron, lots of vitamin K. It's really heavy in iron. So I don't get it why people say vegans have problems getting their iron. It's so much iron in parsley. Just have to eat parsley and greens. I take a little bit of the mint. I think it'll be okay. And then a few green onions. And use the green part. You can also plant this and it'll grow more greens out. Yeah, those are the the herbs, but I'm gonna blend this first. And then to make it a little bit more thicker and creamier, you can use nuts and seeds, or avocado even, or coconut, fresh coconut you could put in there. Make it more, that would be actually a good idea. But I don't have any coconut today. But you can also use flax seeds or chia seeds. They make it really thick and a little more stickier, which is kind of nice for the sauce. You can soak the chia seeds and flax seeds first in water to kind of activate them first, but I didn't do it today. You can use them dry as well. Put a few spoons in. I don't even have a measuring spoon here, but it doesn't really matter, I mean, how much you do. Maybe like 3, why not?
That machine will grind those tiny seeds in?
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess any blender would do that. They're not that hard. They're just for us to eat is a little bit hard because they are so tiny. It's so hard to catch them and chew them. But any blender will do that pretty much. They're not that hard to find. But not every blender will make it really, really creamy, like especially also the vegetable fibers and the seeds, the nuts maybe. But the high-speed blender, they're a little bit more pricey. They will really make it really creamy. And then I have those soaked pecans, so I can just use those. Maybe this was half a cup. I'll just put it in, maybe more cream there. Yeah, and I never make this sauce, so I always make the similar kind of sauce with just vegetables, nuts, or something creamy, or you can also leave the nuts out. You can also just use the chia seeds or just use the vegetables. Yeah, what's always important too for a dressing is some acidity, so I use lemon juice. I like using lemon juice, but you can use, if you like vinegars, you can of course use your vinegars. I like using lemon juice. If you don't have a juicer, you can just use a strainer and a jar, a glass and a spoon, and then I'm just gonna do it like this and then catch the seeds. I'm just gonna do it like that. I didn't get the citrus juicer from the kitchen, so. It's one way to. And don't buy any lemon juice from the little packages there. They add all this stuff in it. It's not fresh. I mean, how long will this keep in your fridge? Not that long. So you always want to keep it fresh. Every little ingredient, even if it's like, so it's just a small word, you don't even understand that little word, and it's just a little bit, but every little chemical is just, it will mess up your system. You know, the body is really complicated. Every single thing that doesn't belong there and is unnatural will kind of put a burden on your body.
Especially the accumulation of it.
And the accumulation, yes, exactly. Maybe a little more. And then, yeah, our bodies are not made for it. We evolved with all the natural, with nature. You know, we're coming from nature, I guess. So we evolved with all the natural products in nature. So we got used to it. And the plants even have similar biochemical pathways like us, and the bacteria was out there. They're really similar. Whatever is happening in our bodies, it's also kind of happening in their bodies. So we're used to this kind of chemicals that they produce, but not the man-made that's just a few hundred years old, or not even 100 years old.
Right.
It's just very new chemicals that come into your body, and even if it just says natural flavors in food, it's also not really natural. They extract it from anything, like from wood or. So also everything extracted can have a different effect on your body, because it's not meant to be like just extracted like that. have the seeds in here and then the lemon juice in here. So, but if you have a nice citrus juicer, like just use that. I just didn't have it today. And I just put lemon juice in here. Yeah, we can use anything. But it's up to you also if you want to have less lemon. Okay, so we're just gonna blend it up and then put our herbs in. You will only see like the little black, like the shell of the chia, which I mean it makes it a little bit more black because those are black chia seeds, but they have also white chia seeds. Flax seeds, you can also use flax seeds. I like chia though, it has less of its own flavor. It doesn't have any flavor. Hello? No worries. It doesn't have any of its own flavor. Like flax seeds kind of has a distinct flavor. Have you realized that? But yeah, the chia seeds are all ground up, but you might see like these little black bits, remnants of the chia seeds. Like, oh yeah. Made a creamy sauce. Like this.
Really liquefied it all.
It's pretty liquefied. It's like a smoothie. I don't do a lot of smoothies, but I do like creamy sauces. Maybe I'll pour it in here. The other thing is, I was gonna put the herbs in. So either you chop the herbs, so fine, or you can also just pulse them like with low velocity of the blender, and then just pulse them in. So I have, like as I said, parsley, cilantro. There's parsley, cilantro, a little bit of mint because we are very brave today, and some scallions. We can leave out the scallions. Are you feeling like who's fasting actually? Are you fasting? You are fasting? Okay. Are you feeling like eating some scallions? You want to put them in?
I mean, it's okay.
Sure.
Yes? So everything sounds good. If anything doesn't sound good to you, let me know. We can change it up.
Oh, good. That sounds very good.
So I'm just gonna just chop it really coarse and then put it in, and I'll pulse it in. So let the blender chop it for you. Maybe it will discolor a little bit if you do it like this, but you save some time and it's all mixed up then. So I do it in low velocity and then just chop it in here. That's it. Okay, that's pretty much it. So just a little bit. And then we still have that color, but we have the herbs like more chopped. That's why I did the first really blended, like creamy, and then later I chopped the herbs in. But of course, if you want to have a little bit browner and more intense flavor, then just blend it all. I mean, just try it out, whatever you like. Nothing's gonna happen. Everything's gonna be really tasty. But maybe you get something different than you expected. But it will be tasty if you use high quality ingredients and you keep it simple. Hopefully today it's going to be tasty. because I wasn't keeping it too simple, I put mint in and maybe too much ginger, I don't know.
We'll find out.
I didn't
Sure,
try
it's
it
gonna
yet,
be
maybe too much
great.
lemon, I don't know. So I was like, but you can always adjust it. If it's too spicy, just eat more
Yeah,
vegetables
that's
with
one,
it.
right? You don't get any, I'll get yours.
You could use that as a dip or on a baked potato.
Oh, yeah.
A variety besides just
Anything.
spiralizing.
Anything is pretty quick, huh? I mean, how long does it take to cook a sauce? I mean, you have to peel the tomatoes, you have to simmer the tomatoes, you have to reduce the water. Just put it in your blender. All with whole foods, you know, it's all whole foods.
Sure it is.
And if you use a little bit, I mean, we didn't use a lot of seeds in here. It was just 3 tablespoons of flax or chia seeds, and then half a cup. That's not a lot. So you could really eat the whole thing. It's mostly vegetables. And you get your omega-3. Yeah, the chia seeds have the omega-3 fatty acid that we as vegans are a little bit low, maybe. But I'm not too sure if animals have a lot of. I mean, the animal flesh has a lot of omega-3, so maybe everyone is kind of low.
Omega-3 is an oil, isn't it? It's an
Yeah.
oil, right?
It's in here.
Okay, you're right, it's
Yeah,
naturally, of course.
It's naturally in here.
Right,
But yeah, sometimes they would also extract it and then sell it like that.
right.
I tried it actually, the algae oil, but I think it doesn't really make a huge difference. I rather like the whole foods.
Sure.
So we're done with the blender actually. And the cleanup is also really simple. I mean, mostly anything comes off with just water. It's no oil. You don't bake it. Yeah, you might want to use a little bit of salt if you put more seeds in or nuts. But the cleanup is really simple. It's simpler than cleaning up a pan, you know. And then yeah, so we need our vegetables and our noodles, I guess. So I take the noodles with our spiralizer. So I have different kinds of spiralizers. I have this little one, stainless steel. If you want to send me an email, got this. Yeah, you can. I have a list of food items I buy online. I try to get all my foods from the farmer's market or local. But if you live in California, that's really easy. You can send me an email and I can send you the list. Yeah, if you live in California, it's really easy. But some items like the chia seeds, I like to buy online. And some things, yeah. Seaweed, I like to eat seaweed too. Okay, let's do noodles. So you can use the spiralizer. Yeah, this one I bought in Germany, but they have similar ones. I have one in my Amazon list, so mostly I buy a lot from Amazon. But they are different spiralizers too. So they have the blade here, and then an attachment here for making noodles. So we make our homemade noodles. We can use a zucchini. It's very common. People use lots of zucchini for noodles. Just make sure the the peel of it. So is that or what? Need to cut the back stuff off.
margins,
Hmm?
clean margins,
Hmm.
you know, if you cut the cancer,
Oh,
to make sure the margins are clean.
Okay, then you just put it in between the spiralizer and that's cool. Oops. Now that I cut the bad part off, I don't know if I can spiralize it. Be careful. I can't do it. I don't want to waste all of this. Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit hard if you don't have a perfect vegetable.
Pretty cool.
It must be a German invention.
Is that? I don't know. The Germans don't eat a lot of vegetables, especially not raw. Yeah, when I lived in Germany, I didn't do all these things. I actually learned it here.
Spluken steak.
Steak?
Spluken steak in Germany?
What is it, steak?
It's called Spluken steak? Yeah, that's what I ate a lot while I was over there.
Oh, really?
It was so good, but terrible for you.
and a lot of beer,
Yes, for sure.
I guess.
I've never seen that before.
Schnitzel?
Make noodles out of squash.
Yeah. If you have a perfect squash like this piece here, then it's also much easier.
Right.
Yeah.
So could you do like a butternut squash that way?
Yeah, I made it with butternut squash. It's a little bit more tough, but you can also marinate it in lemon juice first, and then it will be softer. You can also steam it after that if you want.
Right.
If you don't want to keep it 100% raw. But you can also use a cucumber, but I'm going to peel this cucumber here. Because, I don't like the thick skin on it, sometimes it's waxy. You know, organic cucumbers, there's some wax on it. If you don't,
Yeah, I'm curious, where do you get one like that? That's
I got it
awesome.
also on my list, I think.
Yeah,
Is it?
that's a good one.
Those are nice. Yeah, we have a couple of those at home. and
Do
they-
you?
Yeah.
I
Just
do like that one too.
Yeah.
Works right through it. And the chip there, you take it, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, what figure that out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A couple of much smaller stuff.
Yeah. Also, I like to I always like to use whole foods here and not pre-prepare it, because then you can actually see how I make it, and it's not that bad. It doesn't take that much long, and so you can do it if I can do it. Also with the peeler, if you don't have a spiralizer, you can also make fat noodles like this. So you can just peel it like this.
Wow.
Keep peeling it, and of course the core is a little bit harder to peel, but
I like that better than the mandolin, that's easier and quicker.
oh yeah, you can also use a mandolin and then cut it, I guess.
If you don't cut your
Right.
fingers.
Yeah, and you use the mandolin, I have this here.
Oh,
It's a
that's
cut
cool.
resistant glove and you can wash it too. And yeah, I use the mandolin. I'm never gonna use the mandolin again without, but you have these kind of noodles.
Yeah, but
Wow,
Right.
that's pretty
Chopping
good.
noodles.
Huh,
Or those with the spiralizer.
right.
But you can also use the spiralizer for the cucumber. And do the rest of it. Spiralizer. Cucumbers have a little bit more water. But
Good catch.
Yeah.
Wow, that was great.
don't run away.
Doesn't stand a chance with you up there the other way.
Because I peeled the produce. It's not a perfect vegetable anymore. We only have non-perfect vegetables here for. sometimes even your vegan food is running away.
Oh, that was it better.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Didn't
better.
try to escape.
It's like, I don't want that. Peel me with the peeler.
Pardon?
It's a great way to make noodles.
I know, I sit here looking.
Right?
I sit here looking at Eve, I'm thinking of the Genesis garden of Eden, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all the food, you know, we live already in the Garden of Eden. We just destroyed it. But we can go back. We can go back.
As much as possible.
I mean, it's all there. It's all growing actually still.
So we just gotta kill the snake.
Ah,
Well, the snake in your head, maybe.
that's
Yeah.
right.
It's all in our heads.
That's
We choose.
right. Good.
That's right. Good point.
Mm-hmm. Just don't listen to the snake. Listen to God.
That's right.
So this part, I'm just gonna peel it.
So the seeds don't matter, it's just harder to do.
Sometimes, well, it's gonna get hard to peel with this peeler.
Right.
If you get through the core, it's gonna be hard to peel it.
But the seeds from the peeler, the spiralizer work. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have maybe tough seeds. It depends on the cucumber or the zucchini.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the. You can just cut the rest of it in here. You don't mind that. Maybe I'll.
Waste not want.
Yeah. And then, but you can also use your, if you don't have a potato peeler or you don't have that kind of potato peeler, I think it's a little bit harder to use the other kinds for making noodles. You can also use a cheese grater. I don't want to call it cheese grater, vegetable grater. You don't do cheese. You just check your vegetables for some spots that you don't know, but it's actually good. And even there, maybe you want to use the cut-resistant glove. I mean, it doesn't hurt. You can always wash it. And then you can just grate it. And in Germany, we have noodles that are like this. We call them Spätzle. So I would call it zucchini Spätzle. And see, it's really quick too. It doesn't take that much work. You kind of work out too, and you can show your arm. Yeah, if you get close, it's going to be dangerous a little bit, but with the cut-resistant gloves, no problem. So you have
Meaning the
your.
knife doesn't cut those gloves either?
Yeah, no,
That's
it
so easy.
doesn't cut. No, it doesn't
Wow,
go through.
really?
I'm kind of scared, but.
I would be.
I was like, oh. But they're supposed to be like this. This is made of polypropylene.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it says here cut level 5. I don't even know what that means.
Huh.
Is it good or no?
I don't know, I've never
Sounds
seen
good.
anything like
It
that.
sounds
Yeah.
good.
Still got your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely helps with the mandolin. I never cut my finger with the mandolin anymore. And then yeah, you can have noodles like this here, huh? That's Spätzle.
That's right.
Spätzle. And then you can also put a carrot, because Asians also put carrots in it, right? You can spiralize the carrot too. Let's try to spiralize it too. You can either spiralize it or grate it. It's a little bit tougher, of course. It's not that soft like cucumbers or zucchini. So we have our carrot spätzle. And gonna
That's a
make
lot of color.
some carrot spaghettis too.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it should be
And yeah, just firelighter. Hello, come in. No worries. Okay, lots of noodles actually with carrot. So your carrot noodles.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Sure, it tastes the same, it just looks nice.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay, that's pretty much it. Then we can
So
add,
beautiful and attractive.
just gonna mix it all together today.
This is like a salad kind of thing,
It's pretty much a salad, but I mean, we could call it noodles.
huh? Yeah, of course, it's noodles.
They look like
It's always, I do always a salad, but it just looks a little bit different. But
Uh-huh.
in reality, it's just a salad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good to have that color in there.
Absolutely. I guess you could do beets too and make it red, right?
Oh yeah, you can use beets, sweet potato. Even people like sweet potato or raw sweet potato.
Yeah.
When last time I did that, and then yeah, we can add some. Oops, well, not just some. Oh, thank you. You can add any kind of vegetables. I also have this pineapple. I thought I'm gonna mix a little bit of pineapple in there.
Wow.
Great today.
I love pineapple.
The greens I would just cut for an Asian kind of style. They always cut it really, really fine. So I have just lettuce, but you know, Napa cabbage would be really great in there. I don't really like the normal cabbage. It's a little bit tough, but Napa cabbage is really great. But if you don't have it, just any kinds of greens in it. Just cut it like a cabbage, pretty much.
You don't want to use that special glove?
I'm scared. These knives are actually really dull too. You want to keep it vegan, right?
No, I'm not so worried about that. I just want to see you cut your finger.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not a professional chef, so don't look how I cut the things. Rather look at Ramses if he cuts things.
Yeah.
I can learn from Ramses.
Yeah.
But his food is not that great.
Sounds
Just joking. Well, it's cooked. Of course, I don't like it. I don't eat any cooked food ever.
Really?
Wow.
I mean, I used to eat cooked food, but since 5 years, I don't eat any cooked food.
You
Just
mean
all
like
raw food?
steamed?
Somebody
Nothing
gave
and-
you?
Really?
Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
Our bowl is a little bit too small.
Yeah.
That would be your lunch, right?
Yes, that would be my dinner.
Yeah.
To be honest, really.
Sure.
Because it doesn't have a lot of calories and you can just eat as much as you like. And I
Oh,
was,
yeah.
So then you don't eat beans?
no,
Or what about mushrooms?
no, I don't like mushrooms.
What else would you?
Raw food only,
Maybe
she said.
that.
Well, I eat sprouted lentils.
Okay.
We could also add broccoli. I mean, it's up to you, really. You can, like, I would chop the broccoli a little bit small like this. Broccoli is a little bit tougher.
Yeah, oh, yeah, right. When you get protein, yeah.
Yeah, everything has
Yeah,
protein.
yeah, it's
Very
amazing.
protein,
People don't
exactly.
realize.
Yeah, I would chop the broccoli really fine. If you are not used to raw food, then you might, hey, come in. Don't stay outside. Yeah, we can add some tomatoes as well.
You need a bigger bowl, goodness.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, right.
Go get a clean one.
Well, I like to cut these cherry tomatoes a little bit. Even I put tomato in the sauce, but I like to have some pieces of tomato too.
It's more color.
Yeah, but you get the idea. I mean, still gotta fit it in there. Like this, and then yeah, that's pretty much like a noodle salad with our sauce. But I'm gonna cut this pineapple here. I'm gonna show you how I cut this pineapple.
Noodles.
It has a bad spot here, I think. That's just my troubleshooting here. I mean, it can happen to anyone, but you're not gonna waste it. Maybe you can still eat it. I don't know. We'll see how it tastes. So I kind of rotate this here off. Some people leave it on to cut it, but I just want to remove it. You can plant this too. So you can plant it and have a pineapple plant.
Right.
And I cut this off, ends off. And I have this clean end here. So I cut off the end so it kind of stands stable. And then I just cut around like this. It's not that hard.
So many times.
There are different ways. Maybe you find a better way to cut your pineapple. That's how I do it.
This is a very good way. I like the way you're doing it.
I do this one kind of smaller.
That's great, really.
It smells good, huh? From
Oh,
plastic
yeah.
though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped eating cooked food because I don't like it, so it's kind of sad. I mean, sometimes they do like really nice stuff, and I don't want to eat it.
Wow, really?
It's like, you never tasted my food ever? No. Sorry. That's why they first didn't like me. She doesn't like our food. Oh, so look at this bad spot. Where was it? Oh, that's it. Maybe it's not that bad.
It's just more right.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's really
exactly.
nice. Maybe it's the best spot.
Yeah, it might be
Right,
the sweetest,
right.
like a banana. You're
Yeah.
really right.
But let me test this here. It's pretty good.
Down the middle you get, yeah.
And then I just cut it in half. Actually in quarters. Like right through the middle.
Right,
Because the middle core is a little bit hard.
yeah.
If you're visiting a tropical country and you get a really ripe pineapple, you could eat the core with it. The core is really healthy too. It has some really nice compounds in it. I think the bromine, is it called? And it's also good against parasites. What I sometimes do is I use the middle core and then I put it in my sauces and blend it in.
Yeah, with that machine there, that probably grinds it
Yeah.
right up, huh?
You can also eat it maybe. Some people eat it, but sometimes it's too chewy.
It is chewy, but I like to eat it myself when I try it.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Yeah, I'll just use the quarters like this and then I cut the middle part off.
I didn't realize there was something so special in the core.
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
right.
me feel better about eating it.
Uh-huh. So yeah, it's pretty simple to cut a pineapple, huh? You just need a cutting board and a good big knife. And that's it. And then you have your clean pieces and you can cut it however you want it now. You want to cut a little bit smaller for our salad.
You've never had a vitamin?
No, I'd like to get one.
Yeah.
So that is vitamin?
I don't know if it's a brand,
Yeah,
but,
vitamins.
That's a vitamin.
okay.
That's a vitamin.
We have
That's a nice
one
machine.
here in San Diego, we have one in Indiana too that
Oh,
we use,
really?
yeah. This is the kind I had bought years ago before I was eating like this,
Yeah, of course.
but it wouldn't have done anything like this.
No, I have an old primitive
Yeah.
blender that about 50 years ago, or whatever, 40 years ago.
Yeah, you want to talk to this guy and say, you can't beat it. 'Cause
You got one too?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
My daughter does, and I know a couple other people.
They
that
are
have it.
worth the money.
Yeah.
You can use that and actually you can make soup out of it, where the
Yeah.
point where it heats it up to the point of.
Well, you
Oh,
can even
hot.
take hot soup if you wanna make it creamy and put some in there and blend it and then put it back in the pot so it makes it all, it changes the
Texture of
creaminess.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
it makes it.
I have a Blendtec at home, but which is also a high-speed blender. Sometimes you find it a little bit cheaper. But the Blendtec usually doesn't come with a temper. I didn't have a temper for this one too. But what you also can do if you don't have a temper,
Oh.
don't ever put a knife in or a
Yeah.
spoon. You know, that can be. You think, oh, I'm not gonna do it, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's
Right.
too late. But this is fine if you make a sauce.
Uh-huh.
You can just, and if you have it mixed up and it blends by itself, you just leave it and leave
It
it
goes
open and
in
then it
there,
goes
yeah.
in. So that's safe.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so we're pretty much done. So we have our noodles made of zucchini, cucumbers, carrots, some greens, tomatoes chopped in, 3 different kinds of preparing the noodles. Either you use your potato peeler or your grater or a spiralizer. And then we have our sauce that was made of celery, red bell pepper, lemon juice, pecans, chia seeds,
Ginger?
ginger, chili,
A little bit of mint, a little bit of mint.
and then the chopped herbs
Yeah.
like parsley, cilantro, and mint.
Yeah.
So let's see how that tastes, huh? And then the pineapple here, just cut up pineapple. I could mix it in, but the bowl's kind of
Bowls,
full.
yeah.
So maybe I'll try it for you, and you can try it too if you want.
How long will the dressing last?
The dressing. So I always like to make it fresh. The flavor will change even from now to tomorrow. Sometimes it might even taste good. So I'll do it from. I leave it 2 days maximum for myself, but it will keep as long as cooked food. Really. I mean, it's no real difference. I think raw food even keeps better because it has the active enzyme. It will more digest itself, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But cooked food too. Cooked food is. I mean, you don't want to keep cooked food for longer too. So it's not more toxic to leave raw food or cooked food. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it ferments. It could ferment. But fermenting is not always bad.
No.
So I'm just gonna put the sauce on top of this. It's really thick. The chia seeds really
Yeah.
thicken it up. See, it's really
Yeah.
thick. And I like to keep the sauces thick because all the vegetables have a lot of water. So if you mix it with your vegetables, it will liquefy the sauce. And then I'll just put the pineapple here. Top. Maybe you can mix it all in. Kind of like a Asian inspired pad thai noodle salad. I don't know. We didn't have too many ingredients, but that's how it goes.
Wow.
I'm gonna eat it for you.
All right.
Are you gonna put this out so we can have some?
It tastes really good. Yeah, either you can come here and take it yourself, or I can make it for you.
You mean like get a bowl and we can get some?
Oh, I really like it.
We can-
And also, if it's too spicy for you,
Yeah,
you
you
can
guys
just
go.
use a little bit less.
You don't need to be here.
I guess bowl.
Remember, I get yours.
That's right. Yes.
I like the mint in it too.
Actually, you can have Jason's
The
too.
mint is good.
Water and things.
Lots of ginger in here too.
I like that mint idea when you put that in there. I would never have thought of that.
Mint? Yeah.
Pineapple is great in here too. Yeah, it tastes pretty good. I'm happy with it.